Durian. This is the most debated fruit on the planet, and most of that debate is about the smell. Durian grows across Southeast Asia, particularly in Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, and it is treated with an almost religious reverence in those countries. The exterior is covered in thick, sharp spikes, and the interior contains large pods of creamy, custard-like flesh surrounding big seeds. The flavor is genuinely extraordinary, rich and complex with notes of vanilla, almond, and caramel, wrapped in something savory and almost cheese-like. The smell, however, is powerful enough that durian is banned in hotels, airports, and public transit systems across Southeast Asia. People who grew up eating it cannot understand the aversion, as people encountering it for the first time often cannot get past the aroma to discover what the flesh actually tastes like. Rambutan. The exterior of a rambutan looks like something designed to intimidate. It is a small red or yellow fruit covered in long, soft, hair-like spines that give it an almost alien appearance. Beneath the shell is translucent white flesh that tastes remarkably similar to lychee, sweet and floral, with a slight tartness and a large seed at the center. It grows across Southeast Asia and is particularly abundant in Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines. The name comes from the Malay word for hair. Fresh rambutan is eaten by peeling back the spiky skin and biting the flesh away from the seed. It is also canned in syrup and exported widely. Dragon fruit. Few fruits have a more dramatic appearance. Dragon fruit grows on a cactus native to Central America but is now cultivated extensively across Vietnam, Thailand, and southern China, which became the dominant producers for global export. The exterior is bright pink or yellow with green, scale-like fins, and the interior is either white or deep magenta depending on the variety, speckled throughout with tiny black seeds. The flavor is mild and slightly sweet, often described as a cross between kiwi and pear, which surprises people who expect the dramatic appearance to translate into an equally dramatic taste. Yet it became a fixture of smoothie bowls and health food culture in the United States during the 2000s largely because of how visually striking it looks in photographs. Mangosteen. Mangosteen is considered by many food writers and chefs to be the finest tasting fruit in the world, and Queen Victoria allegedly offered a reward to anyone who could deliver her a fresh one. It grows in tropical Southeast Asia and has historically been nearly impossible to find fresh in Western markets because it does not travel or store well. The exterior is a deep purple shell that cracks open to reveal bright white segments of flesh arranged like a small orange. The flavor is extraordinarily balanced, sweet and tangy, with floral notes and a clean finish that leaves almost no aftertaste. Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines are the primary producers. A fresh mangosteen has only recently become more available in specialty markets in the United States as supply chains for exotic produce have improved. Jackfruit. Jackfruit holds the title of the largest fruit that grows on a tree, and a single fruit can weigh anywhere from 10 to over 100 pounds. It grows across South and Southeast Asia and has been a food staple in India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and parts of Africa for centuries. The ripe fruit has bright yellow pods of sweet fibrous flesh with a flavor reminiscent of juicy fruit gum, tropical and intensely sweet. Unripe jackfruit has almost no sweetness and a stringy pulled meat texture that absorbs flavors readily, and the seeds are also edible when boiled or roasted and taste somewhat like chestnuts. In South India, jackfruit is eaten at every stage of ripeness and woven deeply into the regional food culture. Starfruit. Slice the starfruit crosswise and every piece falls out in a perfect five-pointed star shape, which is where the name comes from. It originated in South and Southeast Asia and is grown across tropical regions including the Caribbean and parts of Florida. The flesh is crisp, juicy, and translucent, similar in texture to a grape, with a flavor that shifts between sweet and tart depending on how ripe it is. Underripe starfruit is quite sour. A fully ripe one is mild and slightly floral. The entire fruit is edible including the skin and the ridges, and because of its visual appeal it is frequently used as a garnish in upscale restaurants. Also, it contains oxalic acid, which means people with kidney disease are advised to avoid it. Feijoa. Feijoa is common in New Zealand, South America, and parts of the Caucasus region, but almost entirely unknown in the United States outside of specialty produce stores. The fruit is small and oval with a green skin that looks similar to a small guava. The interior is grainy and cream-colored with a gelatinous center, and the flavor is where things get interesting. It tastes like a combination of pineapple, guava, and mint with a slight floral edge that makes it unlike anything else. In New Zealand, it is so culturally embedded that the arrival of feijoa season is a genuine annual event and neighbors routinely leave bags of them on each other's doorsteps. Say, it is eaten by cutting it in half and scooping the flesh out with a spoon. Salak. Salak is also called snake fruit because its skin is covered in reddish-brown scales that look remarkably similar to snakeskin. It grows primarily in Indonesia, where it is a common street market fruit, and in parts of Thailand and Malaysia. Peeling back the scaly exterior reveals 2 or 3 lobes of pale, crisp flesh surrounding large brown seeds. The texture is dry and slightly astringent, similar to a very firm apple, and the flavor ranges from sweet to sharply acidic depending on the variety. The Pondo variety from Yogyakarta and Java is considered the finest, with a honey-like sweetness and minimal astringency. Salak is rarely found fresh outside of Southeast Asia but occasionally appears in Asian specialty markets in dried or candied form. A cherry moya. Mark Twain once described the cherry moya as the most delicious fruit known to men, which is a significant endorsement. It originated in the Andean valleys of South America and is cultivated in parts of Spain, Chile, California, and subtropical regions worldwide. The exterior is covered in overlapping scale-like impressions that give it a reptilian appearance, and the flesh inside is white, creamy, and soft with large black seeds scattered throughout. The flavor is a natural blend of banana, pineapple, and vanilla with a custard-like richness that makes it feel more like a dessert than a piece of fruit. It bruises easily and does not ship well, which keeps it rare in American markets outside of California and specialty grocers. It is best eaten chilled, scooped directly from the skin. Longan. Longan is closely related to lychee and rambutan, but has its own distinct character. The name means dragon eye in Chinese, referring to the appearance of the peeled fruit with its translucent flesh and dark seed visible through the center. It grows across southern China, Thailand, Vietnam, and other parts of Southeast Asia, and has been cultivated in China for over 2,000 years. The flavor is sweeter and less floral than lychee, with a honey-like quality and a slightly musky undertone. Fresh longan is available seasonally in Asian grocery stores across the United States, and dried longan is used in Chinese herbal medicine and dessert soups. The fruit dries naturally on the tree in some regions and is sold in clusters still attached to the branch.